Now we're recording. Today is February 1st, 2020. And I wanted to talk about understanding the difference between disparate impact, disparate bias, implicit bias, discrimination, and, how do we determine the level of support that we should be having access to in the public education system, and just what's going on, because that's what we have to explain to ourselves about America and the public education system, what's really happening today. Because it is 2020. We have had our first Black president, and we've arrived, basically. We have doctors and lawyers, we have engineers, we have, people working in space industry. Technology, where aren't we? We're everywhere, but we are not. Let me talk about the one place that we're not. We're not in the oversight process of public services in the public schools locally. Locally, we're not participating. And if we are, it's in a smaller denomination, a smaller number of smaller percentages across this nation. And so therefore, across this nation, even though we are the ones that fought for our civil rights, we're the ones that won our civil rights, we are the ones that have been in this journey for so long, and only to find out that we're no further along than where we initially started, it seems. Even though we participate, let's talk about what we're not participating in. The outcomes. And where the outcomes for our people are, our outcomes all have to do with, behaviors. Well, did this, semblance of behavior did it come from slavery? Is that where it came from? Because we were the first enslaved people. Well, in America, I don't think we were the first enslaved people. I believe they were probably using those Indians, or they were using the free blacks that they found here. And they could identify the difference between free, themselves, obviously, because they came here and they didn't have this darker hue skins, besides the people who were already here. So the people who are already here probably, really did have color or hue to their tones and skin color. And guess what? It shouldn't make a difference, because today we welcome everyone. And as we're welcoming everyone is supposed to be given equal status, equal treatment. But we are finding that in many instances, there's no pathway to align yourself with the community, simply because you're not being taught about what it takes to engage in the public policy process. And we're not graduating African-American children in a large number. And the few children that we do have immediately after high school, or without a lot of thinking, get caught up in childhood or continuing the harvest process, because the harvest is our children. And we need to understand what the harvest looks like. We need to understand the disparate impact of us not understanding our role in the oversight process. We all need to understand what is happening in 2020 when there is an impeachment trial going on in Congress, and the president says, I am bound by no laws of oversight. So I'm going to pause or stop this video actually and upload it so I can see this. I'm just going to premiere this so we can have a further conversation in regards to disparate impact, discrimination, and what they call as socialism, which I don't see.